Thank you for joining us on the news.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We are doing good. Thank you for having us. Now, sir, what do you think would drive a man to kill his wife, concubine, girlfriend? What are the first two factors that come into play?
Right. Could you just repeat that? What are the first two what?
What are the factors? What would make a man kill his girlfriend, wife, concubine? What are the first two factors that would drive a man to such extremes?
Right. Sorry to disappoint you, but nobody can put down first two factors for any particular or specific case. We'll have to take each case on its merits and the factors involved, okay?
All right.
But if you want to have a general overview, then you can look at, what spousal violence is or intimate partner violence is and the kind of things that lead to the occurrence, okay? For example, unequal power, right? Unequal power and dominance in a relationship. Socialization that says the man should have more power, more say, and that the woman should be submissive to this power and its use, and so on. So these are the things that could generally account for instances of spousal or intimate partner violence. But in specific cases, you need to look at, the nature of the relationship, the issues that come up, and so on and so forth.
All right, sir. But in 2007, the government created the Domestic Violence Act in an attempt to reduce the violence against women. Would you say this has achieved its purpose?
Well, we are able to collect the data. I don't know whether to say the government created. There was a lot of movement and advocacy in that direction. We looked at our laws and we were deficient in this regard. And social organizations, NGOs, various stakeholders came together to bring about the act in 2007. Now, we've got an act and we've specified what domestic violence is, different types. And we've empowered various enforcing agencies to, enforce the law. And that's where we need to look at. Having the act or having a law in itself is not sufficient, right? So we need to look at the kind of capacity, the kind of resources we've invested in the fight against this very, very damaging and disturbing social canker. So that's where we may have challenges. We set up WAJU, Women and Juvenile Unit. Later we changed it or changed the name to Domestic Violence Victim Support Unit to make it clear that it is gender neutral. Okay. Right? Violence in the domestic setting is violence and it's outlawed by our laws. Okay. So the change of name specified that. The DOGSU was raised to directorate level in the police service, which is good. But we still need to look at how we've been able to deliver on this mandate and enforce the law. We've tried to build the capacity of the judiciary and social welfare. So the numbers don't tell us a good story. All right. With regard to our ability. We even have a Ministry of Women, Gender Children, and Social Protection. But we need to look at whether this is doing something.
All right. Now, we're going to talk about this. So, we come from our part of the country. This is where when someone abuses you, especially maybe in the rural setting and even in urban areas where sometimes especially children are taught, oh, you're scared of him, this is a family matter, let's settle it in the house. You being an expert, what are your views and what impact would it have on the person, especially if the person is a minor?
Right. Well, let me say it categorically and emphatically. The law does not allow us to hush it up and call it a family matter, right? Indeed, you can be cited by the law if you witness any of these things and you don't deal with it, right? But if you want to move on to the impact on the victim, we know these things. We talk about them all the time. Being abused or violated by somebody who should be in a caring, protective relationship with you is very damaging for children and adults alike, right? So there are various ranges of damage, psychological and psychiatric disorders, and also the fatalities that we're talking about, which is death, right? We also have those who have contracted sexually transmitted infections, HIV, and those who have children or unwanted pregnancies as a result of some of these things. So the impact is broad, and it's very important that we look at resourcing the structures to deal with these kinds of things, and also getting the right media and the community discourse on these things.
All right, thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts, Dr. Dua. That was a clinical psychologist, Nii Nortey Dua, who was sharing his thoughts on the spate of spousal violence and murders, which has been on the increase in Ghana. We'll take a short break.